Hey there, everyone. I love this whole tag. I love this whole tag team thing. It's great. It's wonderful. What it do, twinsies? Great to see you here. How you doing? Cherie, Surfer Girl 326, Mike Wheeler, wonderful. Always great to have everyone here. Myers and the Mouse, how sweet of you, Mama. Thank you so much for joining. It is June 22nd, 2020. Just finished watching Kenzie Days on her stream. She's waxing nostalgic about life in general. Hello, Shelly Starwalker. Love the palm tree thing. Hey, Russ, thank you. What it do, twinsies? It's not Ben, it's me, Arnie. Ben is actually not going to be on stream today. He is preoccupied with other things at the moment, so he will be joining us again next week for PTV Live when we do the final daily dose of Disney. Hello, Pearl Manhattan. Hello, Candy Mom. I so needed my PTV. Actually, Cynthia, so did I. I really needed to talk with everyone here today. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Hello, Donna. It's wonderful to have everyone here. My fabulous Doug. Doug is actually on a client call, but when he's done with that phone call, I am sure he will join in because he loves talking with everyone too. And then we'll also be talking about what's going to be happening tonight on our stream because we do have a topic, and I will definitely be announcing that here as to what's going on, and then I'll be putting out a tweet about it. Speaking of tweet, if you're not following us on social media, we are at Pepper Tree Villa on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I do my best to respond to everyone as quickly as possible. I always have my iPhone with me, so I do my best to respond as I can. Sometimes I can't at that moment, but I do my best to be as responsive as possible. Oh my goodness, 13 people in the chat, only 8 likes so far? Oh, I'm surprised by that. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. It's June 22nd, 186 days until Christmas. National Foods Day. Okay, for those today, it is Chocolate Eclair Day and National Onion Rings Day. How many of you have had onion rings? I know most of you have had onion rings. Even vegetarians and vegans eat onion rings. However, I used to. Oh, thank you, What It Do, twinsies. Appreciate that. I do like onion rings. However, my body does not like them. I remember as a kid when Burger King first came into the San Francisco Bay Area, we were just waiting for Burger King to open, and it finally opened in 1977 in our neighborhood. So we were able to go to San Leandro, a little town right next to Oakland, and we were able to go to Burger King for the first time, and we ordered onion rings with a Whopper. And I'll tell you, I was so excited. It was my first Whopper and first time I'd ever had onion rings. And oh my goodness, and seriously needed PTV today. I was attacked verbally from a so-called friend. I feel at peace now with coffee and PTV. Candy Mom 15, Cynthia, I am so sorry that you had to experience that. But thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Oh my goodness. It is never a good thing to be verbally attacked. That is one thing that will never, ever happen here at PTV. We are all about being kind and inclusive and welcoming. We want our place to be a safe place. And Mike Wheeler with a $1.99 super chat. I love PTV. Thank you so much, Mike. Those of you that are seeing those super chats go into helping improve our equipment, everything that we can do to make our videos better. Right now, I have a light on me that's right above here. Let me block a little bit of it. You see how dark it gets all of a sudden? And then light? That's thanks to you, our kind and generous villagers. We have light here at this computer here at PTV for that. We also have some networking equipment that's coming. And oh my goodness, Jennifer Levy, I've missed you as well. It's been so long since we've seen you. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in. Good to have you. Monarch Moments, welcome in as well. Good to have you. Tim Pruitt, thank you for being here. And Tina McNeil, thank you for joining. And Myers and the Mouse with a $12 super chat train. I want on board. Love you, PTV. Mama Mouse, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Hello, Keith, big Disney fan. Thank you for being here. It is June 22nd. Let's go ahead and get started with history here at PTV3D. Remember, this is just a week left of the Daily Dose of Disney. And so I am very excited about this, very excited about everything. So it's wonderful. On this day, part of Rose's World, welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, I told you, Cynthia. I told you he'd be here.
Well, yeah, my call's having issues, so I'm here.
Here he is. Let me go
my
to the
lovely
computer.
Oh my
There
gosh.
he is. I know we've received a super chat from Myers and the Mouse, and one from Cynthia. Cynthia was verbally abused today, so she said I really needed my PTV today.
Whoa.
So yeah,
That's heavy.
especially when it's from a friend. That was hard.
Ugh.
And then we've also received $1.99
gosh.
from Mike and from Mike Wheeler, and there it is, another $1.99 super chat from Candy Mom 15. Doug is here. Yes, Doug is here.
Thank you.
And yes, what it do, twinsies? Doug is here, and there's Jeff. Go ahead and take the call.
I'll be right back.
You do need to talk. He needs to talk to his client. It's very important that he handles this. So it's part of his job. It's what he does. Rob Fuzz, one of the channels of our support tree. Thank you for being here, Rob. Really appreciate that. Samantha Lowe, it's always nice to see you there. And thank you, moderators, for your help today. Thank you so much. Oh, Captain Akron, you joined in too. Thank you for being here. So let's go back 100 years. We're taking the Wayback Machine to 1920. On this day, there was someone that was born, someone that all of you know and know well, I am sure, just by his voice. If you know the ghost host of the Haunted Mansion, the pirate who used to be the auctioneer in the pirate scene of Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, Paul Frees, that's his voice. He's also been, his voice work was also with Goofy in Goofy's Freeway Troubles. He was also in the Absent-Minded Professor. He also narrated an attraction at Disneyland called Adventure Through Inner Space. And another one that I just absolutely loved hearing was the fact that he supplied the voice of one of my favorite Christmas specials. And I'm glad I could talk about that today because we're going to be talking about Christmas tonight. Anyway, Christmas, that Christmas special, Santa Claus is coming to town. Paul Frees provided the voice of the Burgermeister Meisterburger. And I know you know who I'm talking about. I mean, if anyone in this chat does not know who the Burgermeister Meisterburger is, I would actually be surprised. Those Rankin Bass specials from the 60s and 70s on television are perennial favorites here at PTV. We have to watch them every day. And yeah, he's awesome. I love the fact that he hates toys. He hates toys, but yet he breaks his own rule by playing with a yo-yo. I think that's hysterical. Yes, the Burgermeister Meisterburger. What a great name, too. But yeah, it was played by Paul Frees. He was born this day in 1920. He would have been 100 years old today. So happy 100 years anniversary birthday to that Disney legend, Paul Frees. 1938. On this day, Walt Disney was at Yale University. He was receiving an honorary degree that was given to him by the college. So in New Haven, Connecticut, he accepted a Master of Fine Arts degree, an honorary degree from Yale University. Walt, of course, was always innovative. His entire company was innovative. They were always pushing the envelope. And speaking of that, Doug and I watched something last night on Disney Plus that we had never seen. We talked about a movie called The Reluctant Dragon yesterday. And I had never seen it before, so I thought, let's watch it. And we were completely blown away. It was amazing. It was a fantastic film. It showed a lot of the inner workings of the Walt Disney Productions studio, sound effects, everything that's involved. They were in production with Bambi at the time and Fantasia, as well as Dumbo. So you see those films in various stages of production during the film of The Reluctant Dragon, and you even see Walt Disney himself talking to a gentleman in the film, and then you finally see the cartoon, The Reluctant Dragon, at the end of the film. It even goes from black and white to color. which was very reminiscent to me of The Wizard of Oz. So it was a little camera trick at that point. He even mentions it at one time. Hey, Ben, thanks for being here. That's my twin brother. So the twins of What It Do Twinsies, they're a local twin from California as well. We have to meet up with them sometime. We still haven't done that, but we will arrange that. They're here on Twitter, or sorry, on YouTube as well. So Ben, thank you for being here. So 1938, Walt got that degree from Yale University. And then 1955, on this day, Lady and the Tramp was released. The studio's first feature-length cartoon in CinemaScope. So yeah, widescreen. Lady and the Tramp was released on this day in 1955. And then in 1969, this happened at Disneyland. Now, can you imagine if Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom, they had to do everything they do. They make sure that they have entertainment for people all day long, including night. They have these wonderful fireworks shows. Oh, it's Carlos of What It Do Twinsies. Carlos, thanks. Anyway, on this day, Disneyland started a 7-day promotion to get more people in the gates at Disneyland. Interesting thing, they had difficulties filling people, getting people into the park at Disneyland in the 60s at night. So they would do special promotions during the summer. In this case, it was called Disneyland by Starlight. And it was a 7-day promotion. They got featured entertainers coming in on this night, that first night. Roy Clark, many of you may remember him from Hee Haw, a TV show. My dad loved Hee Haw. But yeah, Roy Clark played his banjo, I am sure, there at Disneyland in 1969. But on this day, it started. And of course, that was the year that the Haunted Mansion opened at Disneyland too. So people were also waiting for the Haunted Mansion to open. Okay, now let's go 1 year later. Now, I must say, people have asked me, what job would you want at Disney World or Disneyland or any part of Disney if you could have any job? This is the job I would want. David Smith was hired from UCLA as a bibliographer, and he was hired to establish the Walt Disney Archives for the studios. I want that job. I want to be the historian for Disney. What an awesome thing to do with your life. I mean, come on, sharing something that I am so passionate about, Disney history especially. I love sharing Disney history, and it breaks my heart that I'm actually going to be stopping the Daily Dose of Disney because I've enjoyed it so much. But thank you so much, Mama Mouse, because you could do that. Yeah, definitely. I would absolutely love this. I would love the job of archivist for Walt Disney Productions and now the Walt Disney Company. That would be a dream job for me. Just absolutely love it. See, Arnie, how are you not the man on that spot? That's a good question. Mainly because I live in the Bay Area. It's kind of hard. But Dave Smith, when he passed away, definitely big shoes to fill. He was quite the presence. He knew everything there was to know about Disneyland and Walt Disney World, Disney, everything. You guys have the gloves already. True. Very true. We have gloves. And yeah, I glove my PTV. So yeah, definitely. That was started on this day in 1970. He was hired to establish the Walt Disney Archives. The archives are celebrating their 50th anniversary. I mean, that is amazing. Fantastic. On this day in 1977, this is probably the cartoon that had the biggest influence on Ben and me as we were growing up. And that's just because it hit at just that right time. We were just 12 years old, and it made such an impression on us. I missed something there. Mike said something. Arnie, I think you have almost a year's worth of proof that you are qualified for the job. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Really do. Yeah, I can't believe it. I've been doing the Daily Dose since July 1st when we started with July. It was amazing that and it was only going to go for a month. And here it is. It's gone for the whole year. So anyway, the rescuers. starring Bob Newhart and Ava Gabor as the voices of Bernard and Bianca. That movie in particular made such an impression on Ben and me when we were growing up. 12 years old, and that was the cartoon that came out. So yeah, that one stuck, and it's been a favorite of mine. It's not really a very good film, but it's still a favorite of mine simply as a sentimental favorite. I actually love the story. And what a horrid, horrid woman Madame Medusa is in that film. I mean, she is just such a mean villain. And so it just went so well. Guess I just assumed it would keep going for infinity and beyond. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Dave Smith was a little goofy looking. Then all showed a cartoon of him, then wrote an article and different Disney things that he had. Ask Dave column, I believe. Yes, he did. He had an Ask Dave. Remember that in Disney Magazine, I believe it was. He would do things like that. Let's move forward to 1984. Now, I've been talking about a little bit here on the Daily Dose about the potential takeover from Saul Steinberg was his name. He wanted to take over Disney and pretty much sell off the pieces as the major shareholder. And it was a very dangerous time. They had to walk a fine tightrope to get things just right so that they could maintain control of the Disney company. At that time, it was still called Walt Disney Productions. So Roy Disney, who had not been part of it, made a deal with the company in which he and two gentlemen, Stanley Gold and Peter Daly, would join the board of directors. And as part of the deal, two of the former CEOs of the company, Don Tatum and Card Walker, would have to resign from the executive committee. And then Roy would be made vice chairman. So he had more power to make decisions and had a lot of backing with him with the board of directors. So it was a lot of things. We also had help on this day from the state of California. One of the courts of the state temporarily barred Saul Steinberg from spending his money from Disney until there was a hearing in July. So it took until July for the court for Saul to be able to do anything about it. But by that time, they bought him out to make him go away. But it left them financially in a very hard spot. Fortunately, the company survived. 1985. This area of Disneyland opened. They wanted to attract the younger crowd. Disney had a history of not being able to maintain the ages of 13 to about college. So once kids started to grow up, they didn't think it was cool to go to Disneyland with their parents or Walt Disney for that matter. So they created this area in the park that became a dance club. And yeah, Ben, Videopolis is it. Videopolis at Disneyland opened on this day in 1985. It was a high-tech nightclub, and they actually sold special tickets that summer for Videopolis so that young people from all over Orange County and Los Angeles County could come in like on a nightly basis to Videopolis and dance. The thing was, it was like an amphitheater, and it was set up with like 70 television monitors all over the place. That's why it was called Videopolis. Little known fact that I'm sure some people will say, oh, that's why that's there. When Videopolis opened in 1985, they had these lights that projected straight up. And they could be seen from all over. They would turn them on, and that way all the kids would know. It's kind of like the bat signal. They knew that Videopolis was going so that they could go and dance at the park. So these lights were a signal. Those lights were no longer needed when they closed Videopolis, but they didn't get rid of them. They held on to them, and then at the very beginning of this other show, some 7 years later, they started using them in a show. That little show is called Fantasmic. So at the very beginning, when you hear that one loud chord of music and the lights shoot straight up, those are the lights from Videopolis. So they do the same thing at the studios. They have lights that shoot straight up when it hits that first chord of music. So yeah, that came from Videopolis originally, and then it went to Fantasmic in 1992. Okay, 1988, on this day, a film that I mentioned yesterday, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who Framed Roger Rabbit was generally released to all theaters on this day. Yesterday it had its New York City premiere, but on this day it was released in all theaters. So 1988, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Big blockbuster for Disney. So much so, it inspired a town at Toontown at Disneyland. 1989. Now, I mentioned the stock deal that had a real problem, and it left them financially vulnerable for takeover. Well, in 1989, Disney announced that they had adopted a new rule, and it was stockholders' right plan. What does that mean? It was to protect the company from being acquired in a hostile takeover, which was they were trying to attempt 5 years prior. The plan allowed for shareholders to buy additional shares of stock of Disney at half price, but it was only set to take an effect if anyone had acquired more than 25% of the company or started to tender an offer for a hostile takeover. So it would stop the in essence, it would stop a hostile takeover of the company. And I don't know if that rule is still in place. I imagine that it is. There was a lot of theories floating around earlier this year when things started to close down because of everything that's happening around us. People were saying, oh, well, some other company can go in and they can buy Disney now. Well, that hasn't happened. And one of the things that I think can stop that from happening is this particular rule, the stockholders' rights plan, and to protect from a hostile takeover. So I'm glad that that rule is in place, because that way our house of mouse is safe. I feel very confident in that. 1997 on this day. How many of you have heard the film Hercules? I'm sure you all have. It's part of the animation canon from Walt Disney Pictures. On this day, it had its premiere in California at CalArts. Now, CalArts is a college that's actually north of Los Angeles. It's in an area called the Santa Clarita Valley. For those of you that are familiar with anything in Southern California, Six Flags Magic Mountain is located in the Santa Clarita Valley as well, north of Los Angeles. You have to come down Interstate 5 from Santa Clarita Valley, and then you come down into the I believe that's the San Fernando Valley at that point, and you come into the Los Angeles, what they call the Los Angeles Basin. So, Ben, tacos and avocado. We'll talk about that. So that was in 1997, and it'll be generally released 5 days later in 1997. Hercules, 1997. In 2005, another film came out this day. They released a film called Herbie Fully Loaded. That's right. Another sequel in the Love Bugs franchise. This, especially the El Capitan Theater. On this day in 2005 also, there was another thing that happened. Herbie Fully Loaded opened at the El Capitan along with other theaters around the United States. But something else also happened next to the El Capitan. On this day in 2005, a little section of a storefront called Disney's Soda Fountain and Studio Store opened on this day in 2005. Some 15 years ago, they started selling hot dogs and burgers and ice cream sodas, things like that. It was a blast. I loved this when it was Disney. It's still there, I believe, but now it's more featuring Ghirardelli. So like the one at California Adventure and also the one at Disney Springs. So you'll see that. But yeah, Disney's Soda Fountain and Studio Store opened on this day in 2005. Fantastic. And yes, they gave awesome pins there. Yes, they did. As a matter of fact, Doug and I have some pins from that collection. We also have keychains. We also have keychains from when it originally opened. It's awesome. I love that place, the Soda Fountain. Another film came out on this day, 2012. That was Brave, the Pixar film that I said took some of the storyline from the movie Brother Bear, but a lot of people haven't seen that correlation between those two films. But yeah, you know what? Brave, cute film. I liked it. It's a cute film. Arnie, all Disney pins are cool. Keith, yes, indeed, they are. They are cool. I agree. On this day in 2013, the next year, I still haven't seen this movie, but it premiered at Disney California Adventure. I don't even know where it premiered in theater because I didn't do any further research on this because I just thought, The Lone Ranger came out this day in 2013, 7 years ago. That's the one where Johnny Depp plays Tonto. I still have never seen that. Has anyone here in the chat seen The Lone Ranger? And if so, how is it? Because I honestly don't know because I've never seen it. In fact, I don't even know if it's playing on Disney Plus. It might be. But yeah, it would have been better without the typo pen. Yeah, that's true. So you enjoyed it, but it's nothing like the old TV show. Okay, Russ. Yeah, I was afraid of that. A lot of people didn't like the film. Although I still think I would like to go back and see it. Okay, Shelley. And Candy Mom saw it? Okay. Okay, so maybe I should go see it. But is it on Disney Plus? I'm not sure. Maybe someone here in the chat could find out whether or not it's on Disney Plus and let us all know. That way we can all go watch The Lone Ranger. Hey, Anthony Manzano, thanks for being here. 2014 on this day, an attraction closed at Disneyland. It had reopened. I say reopened because it was originally an attraction from the 80s in Tomorrowland, Captain EO. It was open in 1985, I believe it was, and it was open until 1997 when 97 when it closed for the redo of Tomorrowland. And then when Tomorrowland had its redo and became the new Tomorrowland in 1998, that theater, instead of having Captain EO, had Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. It was part of the Imagination Institute. So, yeah. Okay. 2013, it's on Disney Plus. Thank you, Candy. Mom, thank you so much, Cynthia. Cynthia, you've been a pleasure to have here. Thank you so much. And then finally on this day, I'm not seeing them here in the chat, but that's because they're at dinner at the moment at the Polynesian Resort. Diz Our Dream is in Florida right now. Hi, Mar. Yes, you made it for the end. Oh my goodness. Jeff and Angela of Diz Our Dream are at the Grand Floridian Villas. They opened today. So they are accepting DVC members that have made reservations at the resorts today. So Jeff took us on a tour of around the grounds, and it was rather eerie because there aren't many people there. And it says, okay, Rob Fuss says The Lone Ranger is not on D Plus yet, but it says it'll be available April 2021. Oh goodness. Okay. Okay, thanks, Rob. Oh, just the trailers there. Okay, thank you. So yeah, the Grand Floridian Villas are now open, and they were going to go have dinner at the Poly. I'm not sure which restaurant it was, but that's why. Oh yeah, you know what? It probably is on Netflix. So yeah, Jeff and Angela are there. Now, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, it's Christmas in July. That's right. Doug and I are going to be discussing all things Christmas tonight on PTV Live here at Pepper Tree Villa. We're going to be doing that. And Doug and I have also received, bye, Mama. Thank you. Doug and I have received our dream books from Hallmark. The dream book is that book that they publish every year that shows all the Christmas ornaments that are going to be available for the current year. And Doug and I have our magazines. We have a PDF copy of it that we're going to be sharing with you during the stream. We're going to be talking all about Christmas tonight. And Doug and I live are going to be putting together our dream list of the ornaments that we want. And we're going to talk about why we want these ornaments and where they'll be in the forest of PTV Christmas. So yeah, definitely do not want to miss that. I'll be posting that on Twitter very soon. I already have the stream mentioned on Pepper Tree Villa, so you can go ahead and go and like that video now, and then make sure that you set that bell. If you've not rung it, ring that bell and subscribe to our channel, making sure you'll know you'll never miss when we either have a video go live for streaming or when we happen to go live like this. You would have known that I'd gone live this way. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. My moderators, thank you so much for your assistance today. I really appreciate all that help. Oh my goodness. So so helpful. And then my circle of support, our support tree. We have Rob Fuzz, D&G Explorers, Two Real Geeks, More Sunshine Please, and the Orlando Guy. Those 5 channels represent our support tree. It's kind of like our pepper tree of support. So yeah, I can't wait for it tonight either, Donna. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this. Christmas in July on PTV Live. It was supposed to be a taste event, but we had to postpone, but it will be tonight. It is a Hallmark open house here on PTV Live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss it. And if you can, share it out to your friends and family. We'd like to see how many people we can get in tonight to watch the festivities of Christmas. Yes, you are part of the you're part of the tree, Rob. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for being here today for this edition of the Daily Dose. I really appreciate it. We just have 1 week left, and we'll culminate the week next week on PTV Live with the final edition of the Daily Dose of Disney here on PTV. It has been an honor to be here with you today. Thank you so much, everyone. And Cynthia, thank you so much. And Mama Mouse and Mike Wheeler for those super chats. Everyone, thank you so much. Those super chats will definitely be used to help us improve our equipment, get these videos better for all of you to enjoy. So we're really looking forward to sharing more tonight on PTV Live. We'll see you then at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube at Pepper Tree Villa. In the meantime, everyone, I've got some work to do on my desk, so I better go do that. Have a magical evening and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. We'll see you tonight for PTV Live, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Bye, everyone.